Oh, it's Mr. McFeely.
I have seen the future, and he was wearing number 5, and I ain't talking about Robbie Grimsley, folks.
Took out the muffins, took out the trail mix, took out the cookies. They stole the monster cookies.
Wow, that's awesome. That is so awesome. Let's do some broadcasting.
Let's do some broadcasting with our guy, Mike McFeely, back as now the king of Charleston, South Carolina. You got around, my man.
I am not the king of Charleston, South Carolina. That's our buddies, Pat Thiel and Rich McFarland.
Certainly Collins Moe is the,
yes.
the king of it.
Yes.
How was it? I barely got to see it. I got to see where we were, the stadium. That was pretty much it. You got to see the town.
I'm going to write this later today, but I don't know if I'm just a complete rube, which is a possibility. I don't know if I'm just a complete provincial hick. That's a possibility. I don't know if I just never get out. That's also a possibility. But
out.
Charleston, South Carolina is fantastic. I mean, just fantastic. I had no idea. I was just texting a buddy of mine this morning. He asked me if I'm going to move to Charleston now. I said, I might. I can't afford it, but I mean, it is just fantastic.
Yeah.
It's not on the ocean. It's not, there's a bay there, and there's some barrier islands, but there's water, there's palm trees, there's warmth, there's entertainment. The restaurant scene is out of this world. I was able to sample some of that. It's a tourist destination that I had no idea about. There is wealth there, which would not include me at all. But there's like, you drive by the harbor going to downtown, and you go, oh, wow, there's like a 90-foot yacht. And my Uber driver's going, oh, yeah, Tiger Woods, Greg Norman, Mark Cuban. He goes, all these billionaire guys all drive their yachts down here. Okay. And there's, Stephen Colbert lives in Charleston. And, Reese Witherspoon, for what that's worth. The point is that it's like a destination place for the rich and famous. Plus, it's a tourist destination. Plus, just for your average Joe like you or I, if you want to eat well, which you and I have been known to partake in at times. I mean, it's just incredible. What an incredible place. Thank you, Charleston, for being a great host.
Yeah, I think for the Bison fans that made their way down there, they enjoyed themselves thoroughly on that.
I ran into several NDSU fans down in the downtown area, in the historic area down, and they're all just going, wow. Yeah. They were like, we had no idea. I said, nope, I didn't either. It's incredible. So Matt Larson, schedule more games at the Citadel. Even if they don't do the return game, just schedule them down at the Citadel.
Or Charleston Southern, we could play them, right?
Yeah,
because we still get the same deal.
Yeah,
it's still in the same town.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Coastal Carolina.
Coastal?
They're not going to schedule. They're not going to schedule the Bison. Yeah.
No, it was. It's cool town. We were down by the water where we ate as well. Just the size of the boats down there was fantastic. It's just like, this is a different animal than what we're used to. I just
had no idea.
You got some of as a history nerd that I am, and you are as well. You got to see some of that too, which I was very jealous of. You got to see
Friday
that.
night, I took a walk around and saw obviously the Civil War part of it, but also, I mean, the city's been there since been around a little bit, 1660 or something. Huh. And so and one of the battles down there is they're trying, because it's become so popular, it's like the Lakes area in Minnesota, as an example, is, people will buy an old cabin built in 1920 on Otter Tail Lake and then plow it over and build a huge mansion. Well, that they're having that same battle and have for a lot of years in Charleston, where they have all these old historic houses and people will apparently buy them and just so there's you walk around and it's all walkable. Yeah. It's really not very big. The downtown is not like a huge area, and it's just incredible. I was just blown away, obviously. It's
pretty cool stuff, and enjoyed it. And I'm sure whoever stayed is going to enjoy going up the road to Nashville for this weekend, because I ran into more than a handful that are doing that.
Yeah, and that's that's retired people with some money.
Yeah.
I mean, Charleston is not cheap, and Nashville is not going to be cheap either. And so it costs some money to travel. So I understand that. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy Charleston more than Nashville. If we're talking travel here, if we're totally like on the Travel Channel here,
that's fine.
I think me personally am going to enjoy Charleston more than Nashville, but I don't know that because I've never been to Nashville, believe it or not. I think that would seem to be a place where you would go in America in 2025. I've never been to Vegas or Nashville.
Oh.
Like the two spots everybody
goes to.
Right? Yes,
I've
either.
been to Vegas, and now I'll get Nashville off the checklist
never
and
been
see
to
what happens
Vegas,
there. So.
Which I've been around a little bit, and so
Yeah.
people are like, "You've never been to Vegas?" No, I don't gamble. I like food.
Yes.
Yeah,
Which is not what Vegas is known for.
Well, I think it's okay though.
I mean, yeah, but it's not like what you don't come to Las Vegas to go for food.
Well, but you could.
You could. There's no doubt.
There's no
yes.
history in Vegas.
No, there's well,
unless you want to go dig around in the desert.
There's definitely a different kind of history than that.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, don't go digging over there because that's where Joe Pesci got rid of some guys.
Nicky Santoro, the guy. What do we make of our guy Cole Payton? Start number one. How would you grade how start number one went?
Oh, I think after the slow start that we all talked about and wrote about, I think it went just fine.
Yeah.
I think that he'll be just fine. The Citadel is not very good.
No.
Let's keep that in mind.
Yep.
You know, and I think all of us have said that. I don't think anybody's saying that the Citadel was, the 5th ranked team in the country. They're not very good for what NDSU is and wants to be. But Peyton, I thought, made some terrific throws, and you're showing some of them here on the highlights. But he dropped a couple balls in over defenders, and I thought the throw to Rajah Nelson. That's what I asked him after the game. I said, he was talking about the great catch that Rajah Nelson made for the touchdown. I said, well, wait a second here. I said, which was better, the throw or the catch? Because the throw was like, wow.
Spot on. Yep.
Yeah. And Cole, of course, right away. So the catch was way better. And I went, oh, I thought the throw was pretty good too. It's like the old debate. I'm not comparing the two, but it's like the old debate whether the throw or the catch that Carson Wentz made to R.J. Urzendowski was better. I mean, because that was an unbelievable throw that Carson made and an unbelievable catch that Urzendowski made. So the debate is which was better, the throw or the catch. And I think this throw and catch in a much different situation warrants some of the same debate.
I think he was eager to just get out there and show I can throw the football. We've seen it, but fans don't go to practice, so they don't get that opportunity to check that out.
But you and I were at most of the practices, and there were times, and I wrote about it. I'm not backing away from it. There were times that I thought he was misfiring on some things and again, I'm not a coach. I don't know what I'm looking at. I know some of the stuff I'm looking at. Maybe other things I don't. I'll admit it. And I think I've been honest about that. I'm not pretending to be, some guy that's, breaking down film. I'm not. But when a quarterback is throwing some picks and he's throwing the ball at people's feet, that's like, okay. I mean, that's all right. Like
disconcerting.
Throwing it behind people. That's where you go, okay, that's pretty obvious that was not on target. But he was pretty outside of the rain, the wet footballs on Saturday where he had some weird throws, which he said after the game, he goes, I'm not going to make excuses, but the ball was very wet.
And it was nasty to start.
And it was. And so I thought that, I think you have to give him an A. And you combine that with his running ability, which
we've seen that.
Wow. Yep. I mean, that's still there. That's what I said.
Yeah, they didn't go anywhere.
I asked him that. I said, "Do your legs still work?" He goes, "Yeah, my legs still work." Yep, they do. Yep.
How do you?
I think Cole gets annoyed with me sometimes. I'm not blaming. I think he looks at me sort of as in a baffled way, like what? Because some of my questions are sort of oddball, which I apologize for that, but it's like, I just like, yeah, my legs still work. Like, do you think that they did not or something or what? It's like, yeah, they're still okay.
I know defensively, again, going back to who the opponent was, I don't know how excited you want to get or any broad declarations you want to make about the Bison defense, but I thought as a whole for the new guys that got a chance to, quote unquote, start or new players out there, that was different in the linebacker unit there.
Again, the Citadel you and I could play quarterback for the Citadel with what they had on the field.
That's a little preposterous.
You could play. Speak for yourself. And so that's a huge element of playing defense is if you have to worry about the quarterback throwing the football.
Yes.
And they did not have to worry about that.
No.
But I will say that just looking at them, again, through amateur eyes, they have some players that physically look different, and they have some speed, I think, that they didn't have even last year when they were pretty good defensively last year. But your guy, Donovan Woolen, it was like, whoa, okay, that's a different body for an NDSU linebacker that we haven't seen for a while. Ray James, a redshirt freshman. I'd seen him at practice when he walked on the field in his uniform, I went, whoa, wow, he's got some legs and arms. That and I think the length is the word that coaches use. We have length.
All the time.
But, but I think they have some of that. They have some length and they have some speed.
Yeah.
That I don't know that they've had the last couple of years, and they've been just fine the last couple of years defensively. But there might be Kelton McCaslin.
Yep.
Has some length to him at defensive end where you went, oh, and again, I've seen them at practice. They look different in their full uniforms playing a game.
Elijah Wayne played his first game, got his first sack. He also has length.
He looks the part as well.
Yep.
And so there's just some guys out there that have some different body types and some speed that I'm not sure that they've had the last couple of years. So that's that. If you're a Bison football, if you're Grant Olson, you're probably really excited from what you saw on Saturday, even though the opponent was really no threat.
And I mentioned this to both Grant Olson and Kyle Emanuel because they were on the defense reminds me of the 2012 team. And if you remember that outfit, they were dynamite defensively. Yeah. The offense needed some time and they had games where they had clunkers and the defense won it for them that season. I don't think the offense has as limited as 2012 was because I think they've got some really talented weapons.
When you look at the receivers,
right.
Maybe they're not quite there at running back, although I think they'll be fine there. Barica looked really good. Like he broke some tackles. He showed that he could kind of hit the holes quickly. I thought, don't know what I'm looking at, but I thought in past years, he kind of, I don't know if danced is the right word. Hesitated maybe. And I thought on Saturday, he just got to the hole and went.
Yep.
And granted, some of the holes were 13 feet wide. And I thought DJ Scott and the coaches said in practice that he's good. And he's going to be just fine. And DJ Scott, to me, looked like one of the guys that's always going forward at the end of the play. Like he's not getting hit and going down. He's getting hit and getting another yard or two. And he's always falling forward. It seemed to me from what I saw, he's just always grinding for yards at the bottom of the pile and always falling forward a yard or two at the end of the play.
All right, let's break. We come back. Got a couple other topics I want to get to with Mike, including we got to do this. It's our yearly rant on the FCS poll because I talked about it. We got to do that. We'll do that on the other side of the break. Wrap up our first hour on Hot Mike on WDAY Extra right after this. All right, wrapping up our first hour. Jen Lopez, Bison volleyball coach, going to join us in about 10 minutes. NDSU with a strong start there. Back with Mike. We had the usual barbs exchange yesterday because the first actual poll of the FCS season came out after the games this weekend. And I was talking about before you came on, there were some results this weekend that you can shake your head at. South Dakota got its doors blown off by Iowa State.
Right. And
Montana State got boat raced by Oregon. Right. Those are a couple off the top.
When I looked at it, and again, let me make this clear, as I've said for 15 years now, the poll doesn't matter.
Yep.
I love Craig Haley. He does a great job of organizing all that stuff, of doing all the awards. Without Craig, FCS football would just have none of that. Nope. So this isn't critical toward him in any way, shape, or form. But I don't, as I've said for many years, the poll doesn't matter and it really doesn't matter now
not anymore
because it's not taken into consideration for the playoff field. But it's like many other things, including, frankly, the Heisman Trophy and the Peyton and all these other awards. People don't watch the games. I mean, I don't understand how if you get beat 55-3 or 55-7 or whatever it was.
That's what Iowa State got beat by South Dakota lost to Iowa State. Yep.
How are you not penalized for that? But yet UND, to its credit, I thought I was actually able to watch a lot of that game on Saturday night because I was in a meat coma from Lewis Barbecue in Charleston. They looked really good.
They did.
UND looked better than expected.
Yes.
I'll say that. I'll be honest. Their quarterback looked good. They outplayed Kansas State. UND deserved to win the game.
Yes.
They deserved to win. They just didn't. But UND has a close loss, and they get rewarded.
Quality loss, man.
For a quality loss, which, okay, all right.
Yep.
But then USD and, by the way, Montana State just get absolutely destroyed. And they don't get penalized.
No.
That's the part I don't like. Like Kansas State and Iowa State played a game 7 days prior to Saturday, and it was like a 4-point game. So they're fairly equal teams, I would think.
Yep.
And UND, I think Kansas State sleptwalked through the game.
Yeah.
There was something going on there. But again, UND played well. They deserved to win. But so they get rewarded for coming close to Kansas State.
And South Dakota didn't get punished. Yeah.
I mean, South Dakota didn't put up any resistance.
So my only...
And again, it doesn't matter. It's all going to come out in the wash. And when the Coyotes come here on September 27th, then that's a way better barometer for FCS football than an FBS game. It'll all come out in the wash.
I just had a hard time putting anybody else up in the top 5. That was my,
and that's
who am I going to put there?
Right. I know. I get it. I mean, and that's the thing. That's the thing you and I have talked about again for many years.
Should I have put Tarleton at 2? Then probably. Maybe I messed up on that. I should have had Tarleton ranked 2nd because they have an FBS win and they shut out.
Army was good.
And Army was good.
They won 12 games last year.
Yeah, they were just outside the playoff. Yes.
And so it'll all come out in the wash because it's FCS football. But that goes to speak because when I look at the whole poll as well, I go, well, like who else is going to be in the top 5?
I mean, Illinois State got its doors blown off by Oklahoma.
Yeah, but that actually wasn't. I mean, they at least hung in there for a little bit.
Yeah. Am I going to reward that?
USD wasn't competitive. And
Right.
Montana State wasn't. There's this belief among the FCS, whomever votes, that like you should expect to just get killed in an FBS game, especially against a P4. Just expect it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, hey, we're going to reward you. But if you do, hey, we're going to whatever. That's the way these games should go. No, they shouldn't.
No.
If you're a legit top 5 FCS team,
You don't lose by 40.
you should be competitive.
Yeah, you don't lose by 40.
That doesn't mean you
I
should
agree.
win. I mean, we've been.
Yep.
Again, our perspective is different in Fargo because for many, many years, NSU won all those games.
And the 2 games they've lost in their last 2, they lost by 3 to Arizona and they lost by 5 to Colorado.
They were Colorado last year turned out to be a decent team.
Yes.
Actually, Arizona turned out to be a decent team.
Yep.
And NSU was at least competitive with them.
Yep.
They could have won either one. They didn't.
So, like Idaho is another example. They lost by Washington State kicked a field goal at the end of the game to win that one. So, I moved them up a couple spots because they lost by a field goal to a power or to a.
Yeah, they're not a power 4.
They will be next year. They're the
no,
Pac.
They won't.
The Pac-12 is going to be.
No, it will. The Pac-12 will not be a power conference.
They're going to want to be. They're going to consider that.
Okay. Well, so did the AAC.
But
they even put the sticker on their helmet.
But to your point, when we showed the graphic, Mercer is still ranked. Mercer lost to Presbyterian. That's a non-scholarship team. Get out. They were not in my ballot. Get out.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, that's
what we're doing.
But again. Like, who else deserves
I know.
to be
I don't
there?
know.
Like,
I have no idea.
That's the issue right now with FCS football. To me, which again goes back to the let's beat the dead horse. I just don't know what's there anymore.
Like Southern Illinois beat a D2 school. I'm not moving them up. You played nobody.
Right. It didn't even count.
Right. It doesn't count.
And that's
on your
fine
resume.
if you want to make that decision because you want to. I mean, NDSU played the Citadel. They're not a D2 team, but they're not very good.
No.
Historically, they're. But it's just.
I know.
It's just what FCS is. It just. I mean, what was refreshing to was I was watching the North Carolina TCU game, and boy, that too bad Bill Belichick got his. Oh gosh, that one.
It took it on the chin
was
last
real
night.
painful.
Yeah.
Oh boy, hated to see Belichick take it on the chin.
ESPN had a 4-hour infomercial for North Carolina last night. Yeah.
If that's all the better you can do, is
not great.
Boy, wow, hire more GMs.
Your guy Brad Johnson's kid was the guy who came in late to quarterback.
Oh, is that right?
That's Max Johnson, is Brad Johnson's son.
But anyway, Reese Davis said on the broadcast late when they were just trying to kill time because it was just such an ugly game. He said, Reese Davis said, on my poll this week, I did not have Alabama in the top 25. I dropped them out of the top 25 for how they played against Florida State. And Kirk Herbstreit said, good. I don't think they deserve to be in the top 25. So at that level, because you can watch the games and people do watch the games, they saw what Alabama had and said they're not a top 25. They don't deserve it.
No.
Put in the Gophers or whoever. I don't care, but Alabama didn't deserve it.
No, we got boat raced by Florida State. So, all right, I'm going to save our last thing for tomorrow. You're going to do the Bison Media Zone tomorrow? We got that in the schedule tomorrow?
Yes.
It's on the schedule.
I know.
Tomorrow.
Oh, I know.
Because the biggie we'll talk about tomorrow, South Dakota State, Montana State out in Bozeman this
I
weekend.
read all of your emails very closely.
It should be good. Great stuff down in Charleston. If you missed the photo gallery Mike put together of your walking tour of Charleston, it's really, really cool.
Yes.
That's at inforum.com.
I got in like 16,000 steps that day.
There you go.
Yeah, fantastic.
So then you were able to go and have the meat coma because you had 16,000 steps.
Jim Gaffigan, the comic, does a bit about Southerners, and it's all in fun. But he's like, if you eat Southern food, you know why everything moves so slow in the South. I mean, I just had my biscuits and gravy. It's just like
Ain't going
you
anywhere.
have biscuits and gravy at 9 o'clock in the morning. You're just not.
You're done.
You're done. You're just walking around like at 1 mile an hour for the rest of the day. How you doing?
Good stuff, bud. We'll see you next week, all right?
bet.
Mike McFeely joins us each and every Tuesday at 9:35. We'll break. We'll start our second hour. We'll chat some Bison volleyball. Jen Lopez will join us after a red-hot start for NDSU last weekend. That's coming up. We come back.